Just checking my phone to see if I'm live and that the comments are rolling. And great, there I am. We are live. Hi everyone, Jessica here. And today I wanted to talk to you about pricing, sales, getting sales, and really anything else that kind of comes up around that topic. So when you are here, say hello. Just make sure I've got my mic all squared away here. I feel like getting used to this microphone after having it for a year. So first thing that I want to say about this talk and really any talk is that when I talk about this subject or really any of my lives, I want you to always put what I say through your filter because I'm always sharing my opinions. Hi, Chelsea. I'm always sharing my opinions, my thoughts on things, and I love that you're here to listen and hear what I have to say, and I always obviously appreciate that. But your job is to take like what I'm saying and put it through your filter and kind of tweak and filter and apply to your business as it applies to your business. Since all of our art businesses are so different, we're all at different stages. So all of that to say, I love showing up and being live and chatting with everyone about whatever my thoughts are or my takes are, on pricing and sales or really anything else. But just to encourage you to always put that through your filter and apply it to your business as it applies. So I always have my water in my notes, especially on this talk, because I do have a lot to say about it and I want to make sure that I have the talk a little bit organized. I may go off on a few tangents, but regardless, I'm actually going to skip that. So the reason that this talk came up, the reason that this topic even came up was there is an artist I was chatting with maybe a month or two ago, just chatting, we're friends, and she kind of went off and started talking about pricing and her experiences with pricing. And I thought it was very interesting, and there was some interesting thoughts. And I had some takeaways that I wanted to share in today's talk. So the first thing she was sharing was that when she first started out, she had a business coach that when she started selling her paintings, this coach kept saying, and this is not a knock on the coach in any way, shape, or form. It's more so her situation and her realization through this. But the coach kept telling her, okay, raise your prices. So then she'd raise them, sell the paintings, and then her coach would say, okay, raise the prices, okay, raise the prices. And it got to the point to where the paintings weren't selling, and she was also uncomfortable with the pricing. It was almost as if like she'd priced it out of that delicate balance of supply and demand of her paintings, and she also didn't feel good about it. Like it was, she just followed and she listened to her coach, and so she decided, okay, it was maybe a year after, the pricing doesn't feel good to me, so I'm actually going to go back and price my artwork at a rate that I feel comfortable with, that as I'm marketing it and I'm talking about it, something that I feel comfortable with. And that was, in my opinion, like that's definitely one thing I want to talk about, because that confidence in how we have our artwork priced, like us feeling good about it, is so key when it comes to selling our artwork. The second story she shared was actually like on the opposite coin. So she said, okay, and then I want to lower my pricing, but then there's this dilemma of pricing it too low. And then she shared about, being at an art fair and she was a vendor there. And there was another artist that was like painting paintings live, real quick, having them finished, selling them. She said they were huge paintings for like $150, and other artists were getting upset thinking that they weren't getting sales that day from their standard art pricing that they had, because that artist selling their artwork too low made people expect artwork should be cheaper, like almost expecting their artwork should be at a lower price point because this person is selling it at XYZ price. And I think that these two stories were so key. They were just such a big deal when it comes to the world of us pricing our artwork, how we feel about it, what we think about it. And I really think that it's like two two sides of the same coin. I don't think that raising her prices was not wrong. First and foremost, I am an advocate for intentionally raising prices. But that goes back to like this cycle that I'll talk about, because there is this confidence that needs to be in with it. And of course, I say intentionally raising prices. Raising prices just to raise prices, personally, is not something that feels good for me. Nothing that I would recommend. And I do have more thoughts, but I'll put those in a different live. But I think a lot of artists feel like when it comes to pricing our artwork, there's a right way to do it, there's a wrong way to do it, and they put a lot of stress around it. And pricing artwork really is not that cut and dry. It's just not cut and dry. And at the end of the day, and this is kind of what I shared with her, because I think she was wanting my take, like do you think I'm wrong for lowering my prices? I don't want to make other artists upset. And so I told her specifically, I don't think that pricing artwork is a constant. It's not like there is a standard price artists need to be at, or pricing structure they need to go by. Everything is so different. We don't all have the same formula. It's been a frustrating coin. Pricing art, it is a frustrating coin. It's a funny way to put it. But yeah, so it's not apples to apples when it comes to artists pricing our artwork. And I mean, a way to think about this too could be about salaries. So someone working in one office is getting paid this amount. Someone working in this office is getting paid this amount. They may have the same job. Obviously two different companies may have the same job, be doing the same thing, but their salaries are different. And that could be for a million different reasons. I mean, that could be because, maybe one has more experience. That could be maybe the other one negotiated a higher pay. So there's all of these things that go into works with people's salaries. So it's really not that different when it comes to pricing our artwork. There's so many different variables that can be put into the pricing. So in my opinion, this is completely my opinion, I feel like what you offer, so your artwork, like all of this comes into play with getting sales. Your artwork, your confidence in your artwork, and your confidence in your pricing, and the way that you market yourself and your artwork is a huge factor when it comes to getting sales for your artwork. When it comes to selling your work, it really has to do with the confidence and the marketing. And at the end of the day, this is like the hill that I will die on, is number one, you need to be confident in your pricing. And I know that sounds a lot easier, a lot easier than it really is. But that's how you're going to sell your artwork. And I recognize, and I put this in my notes because I completely get it. I recognize that artists, we can generally get uncomfortable around our pricing. So when we get to like this number that we feel comfortable with, that can cause us to stay stuck, in my opinion. So not to talk out of two sides of my mouth here, but it's important to get confident in your pricing and how you're charging things. And also not get stuck there, because again, I'm an advocate for kind of pushing and stretching, and to think of, when artists first start out, paintings are worth this much, and then they continue to grow, and now they're worth this much. But then it goes back to like what's comfortable for you. How do you want to price your artwork? So again, I'm an advocate for raising prices, just as I'm an advocate for raising your salary during not an interview, but a review. Like if you have a review, I'm an advocate for, you raising your prices. But let me dig a little bit deeper into this, this two-part process. And I'm going to talk about the confidence, because I know the confidence is so easy just to say and to throw out there with have confidence in your pricing. But it is hard. I mean, I completely understand that, and I've been there a million times. So the way that I see this cycle, and I feel like this really is a cycle that feeds off each other, and here are like two main things when it comes to that. The first one is to price consistently. And what that means, I mean, in my opinion, this is like the first step, is to be consistent with your pricing. So the numbers, the data removes the drama. So I always start, and I recommend, I even talk about this in my Art Business Evolution course. I share specifically my pricing structure, the formula that I use, so that they can take it, tweak it, see what works for them. And I would say to start with a specific formula, start with a specific number. So if you have like a 16 by 20 at this price, then continue to use that as like the, how do I want to word this? As the foundation. Because, okay, and I'll go into that in a second. This goes back to what I was talking about Tuesday when, what do we do when a launch doesn't go well? And it's really, the key is finding what went wrong. And the way to, in our businesses, ever know what's working and what's not working is to remain constant in a specific area. So when it comes to our pricing, I'm not going to go through in this talk how to price artwork, because again, it's so different, and that's something for another time or program or whatever. But to find a price that's comfortable for you, a formula that's comfortable for you, and use that and stick with that and see over time, give that time to work. But if you're comfortable, okay, so the first part is, of course, the consistency. That consistency is going to give you that base of knowing what's working, what's not working, and then your confidence is going to come into play. So when you get to a price that you feel good about, a price where artwork does start selling, that'll build your confidence. That confidence is going to come from the consistency of your pricing. Brenda, if we're noticing paintings aren't selling consistency, is it wise to try lowering the prices? Let me talk about that at the end. Let me think about that for a second, because that's kind of a loaded gun question. So going back to that system, the consistency and the confidence. Being confident in your pricing, I really feel like that is what allows you to sell your artwork. That's what allows you to market your artwork. And that dictates, your confidence dictates how you show up and you talk about it. It dictates you showing up. Because if we're not comfortable in the pricing of our artwork, it's just kind of like, it just doesn't feel good to show up and say, oh, I've got this painting worth this. That confidence and how we show up and talk about our artwork, showing up, talking about it, and selling it, marketing it, that all comes from that confidence. And that confidence comes from the data, that comes from that foundation that you've built, that you know is working or is not working. And it's all about finding that sweet spot that works for you, because as we go into the pricing of our artwork, you never want to price it too, and feeling back into what feels good for you, you never want to price it too low to where you're resentful if it sells, or you're unhappy if it sells. So you want to make sure that, again, it's a price that if it sells, it's not like, oh, that was way too low, I shouldn't have priced it that low. Or if it's too high, and it's not, like, you want to find that happy balance. And a post that I always put in this group is like, that comes from action, that comes from actually doing, that comes from actually putting it out there. That's the only way you will know results, the only way you will get data, is to actually try it. Try it and stick with it to know if it's working or not working and what to tweak. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear the motorcycle. It's always so loud in the mornings when I do my lives. Deciding if I want to talk about that. Yeah, so when we talk about our pricing, I make it to that. I'm kind of tossing around Brenda's question here. I am an advocate. Here I'm pushing like the feel good, price how you feel good. I am absolutely an advocate for raising prices intentionally, and I say intentional because I'm not an advocate for people raising prices just to see what they can get away with, but more so being intentional about where you're pricing. And if you're not confident, if you're not comfortable, if you don't know what's working with your pricing, it's good to just start at a price. And then over time, your confidence will build. I mean, I could share a million stories of, pricing my artwork at a specific price and then not feeling good about it or feeling like it was too high, or if I priced any lower that would look bad. So again, feeling into there is no high, there is no low. It is pricing what feels good to you, getting to a place where even if you're not sure, to try it. And then from there, your confidence in that pricing will grow when your paintings start selling, when they start selling more. You'll know that that's a strong price. You know that that's where you're happy at, and you'll have that foundation. But again, in the end, pricing in a way that feels good to you so you feel confident, that is going to serve you so much more when it comes to selling your artwork than the pricing or, trying to figure out if it's too high or too low. Feeling better about your pricing is what's going to help you market it better. So Brenda's question that I wanted to touch on, which I feel like I had a lot more notes and I wanted to go off on more tangents. If we're noticing paintings aren't selling consistently, is it wise to try lowering the prices? So the question that I would have for that is, how long have you... the reason it's not a cut and dry question is because it's more of how long have the paintings been at that price, been set at that price? There's just so in my opinion, it's a yes and a no at the same time. If you've had your paintings priced, like if you're just starting out, Brenda, I don't know your artistic history. I don't know how long you've been doing this. It is never a bad idea to lower your prices. Just like when I started with that story of an artist that's on Instagram that shows up, so she has a good presence on there. But she got to a point where her paintings, they were too high for her to even feel good marketing them. And she noticed that there was a fall off on sales. So again, for her situation, she had that foundation of knowing this worked at this price point, this worked at this price point, like this was good. But then when she got here, it was almost this new realm of she didn't feel comfortable, and she noticed the sales were dropping off. She allowed that to be, and this was a collection specifically also that she released, she allowed that pricing to stay like that. She's not going to lower those paintings because she doesn't feel good from an integrity standpoint of, she may put them on a sale price down the road, maybe, around the holidays, she may, put them on sale. She can absolutely do that. But to change the pricing of something that's already been put out into the world, again, you make the rules of your own business. I say that all the time. So I would never want to dictate what you do or don't do. So I'm just kind of throwing out there my thoughts and my opinions. At the end of the day, you get to call the shots, and that's why being an entrepreneur is so much fun. But for her, that feels good. Moving forward, when she creates that size painting, it's going to be at a lower price point, and that holds the integrity of those paintings, of how she does business, to where she's not like putting a painting out there at this price and then next week, lower it to this price. In my opinion, that does not feel in integrity with something that I would do. Because when I price a painting at a price, that's what the price is going to be. And that's also how I build trust with my clients. That's how I build trust with my audience, to where when they go and look at my paintings and it's at this price, when they go back and look 2 months later, if that painting's still for sale, it's still going to be at that price, and I didn't just lower it. So I know as I'm kind of like regurgitating my answer here, I'm kind of getting an answer for you. So Brenda, is any of this resonating? Is any of this let me scroll down actually. Oh gosh, there's a lot more comments on here. Sorry. Every time I'm on here, it's like it's the first time. Hi, Pippin. Hi, Cindy. Okay, there we go. Sorry, everyone. I need to learn technology better. Okay, I finally found what works in pricing my artwork. Took a while. Pippin, I love that. That's good to hear. It does take a while. It absolutely does. And so like and I completely agree with what you're saying. I'm comfortable with where my pricing is right now, but it took so long to get there. It took a lot of discomfort and it did take a lot of like testing and trying. Maybe a sale price is smart. I have sold other paintings at similar price points, but haven't seen sales in my new collection. Yeah. So to so in that regard, if you were asking for a full out answer, I've only been painting for about a year. Oh, that's awesome. Well, congratulations. It's still exciting. Year's a long time. Sorry, I'm not going to go off on time tangents, but that's awesome. So, in my opinion, with that collection, kind of what you mentioned, a sale price is smart. I've sold other paintings at similar price points, but haven't seen sales yet in my new collection. So, I know you were on Tuesday's call. I would really go back in the case of this new collection. So I don't feel like you should, in my opinion, just from this moment of conversation, I would not say to go back and like rearrange your whole pricing structure or tell yourself the story that those paintings cannot sell at that price at that size. Because I don't know when you release this new collection, but the fact that you have sold other paintings at similar price points tells me that it's not a pricing issue. And that's just me looking at it from the outside. That's not telling me that's a pricing issue. That's telling me that there may be something else going on, whether it is, the marketing of the collection, whether it's, kind of what I mentioned Tuesday. A lot of those options just to sit and look at that collection. But based on everything that you've said, it does not sound like it is a pricing issue. And I would not say to go and rearrange your whole pricing structure. Or change the prices of those paintings. It looks like what you're doing is great with pricing. It just may other things may be in there. Started out 10 months ago. Yay, nice, Cindy. Yes. So does anyone else have any other questions? That was a good question and conversation piece. If anyone's typing questions, I do want to also a reminder about Monday, which I didn't say at the beginning, so I figured I'd throw it out here now. I have two fun new offerings available coming Monday. One is Master Your Month, which is a one-on-one coaching opportunity to where we spend 4 weeks together. We map out two goals that you have. We put together a game plan and a roadmap so you know what to do to accomplish your goals, and we work together to get that momentum moving and getting those accomplished. The second thing is Amplify, and that is a video training that I have, and it covers like three main areas of it's like getting your marketing mojo. It's part of the title. I really enjoyed that. We talk about your confidence, your messaging, your strategy. The fun thing about this is that it's $35 because I turned 35 May 29th. So I thought it would be fun to put together like something small and fun and get you wins. I mean, that's kind of the thing. I wanted like to offer some smaller things that allow us to work together and that can actually like get some momentum moving, get some good wins moving in your business as well. If no one else has any questions, I will chat with you Monday. I have a Monday talk planned, so we'll chat then. Everyone have a good rest of the week. Bye.